Welcome to Secret Lens History. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more exciting stories from the past. Look at this. England, 1980. A punk, a rude boy, and a skinhead just hanging out together like friends. The media wanted you to think these groups hated each other, but the reality was way more complicated. Donald Trump with Miss Teen USA contestants around 1997. He would later brag on tape about walking into their dressing rooms while they were changing. These were teenagers. Jackie Kennedy, pregnant, smoking a cigarette in 1963. This looks insane now, but back then, nobody knew, or maybe they didn't want to know. This woman is Marcy Borders, covered in dust after escaping the North Tower on 9/11. She became known as the Dust Lady. The tragic ending? She died of cancer at 42, likely caused by what she breathed in that day. Germany, 1945. This former concentration camp prisoner is pointing at one of the guards who tortured him. Justice was finally coming, but it was too late for millions. American soldiers wrote this on a bathroom wall in Baghdad, 2007. This is what war actually looks like when nobody's watching. Exhausted troops with dark humor stuck in a conflict they don't understand. Imagine waking up one day and not being able to move. You're conscious, you can see and hear everything, but your body won't respond. Between 1916 and 1931, this happened to millions of people worldwide. It was called sleeping sickness. 500,000 died. Then it just disappeared. We still don't know why. That's a 4-year-old girl standing next to Lucy, a skeleton that's 3.5 million years old. This is what our ancestors looked like. We used to be tiny. Yes, this is real. A facial massager from a 1971 catalog that promised a gentle, penetrating massage. People actually bought these things and strapped them to their faces. The 70s were a different time. This little girl is sitting in what used to be her home, London, 1940. Everything around her has been destroyed by bombs, but she's holding on to the one thing she has left, her doll. This is what war really looks like. Watch her eyes. A young woman in Oaxaca, Mexico realizes she's being photographed during a celebration in 1985. That look she gives the camera, it's piercing, it's challenging. You can't look away from it. Before Patrick Swayze was famous, he was just this guy, a dancer with his mom Patsy and his wife Lisa in 1978. Nobody knew he'd become one of the biggest stars in the world. When Marilyn Monroe married Arthur Miller in 1956, people couldn't believe it. The biggest sex symbol in Hollywood marrying a serious intellectual writer? It seemed impossible. They were right. It only lasted 5 years. You rarely see Marilyn like this. Behind the scenes on Some Like It Hot in 1959, just relaxing while her makeup artist works. A year later, her life would start falling apart. These are gay skinheads at Pride in the UK, 1990. One literally has skinhead tattooed across his back. The skinhead movement wasn't what most people think it was. It was actually incredibly diverse. This Irish woman is posing barefoot in 1913, wearing traditional clothes that most people had already stopped wearing. This is one of the first color photographs ever taken in Ireland. Warsaw Ghetto, 1941. This homeless man is trapped in a small area where the Nazis confined hundreds of thousands of Jews. Most of them, including probably this man, would be murdered within 2 years. A Jewish girl in Damascus, Syria, 1865. This hand-colored photograph is one of the few surviving images of Middle Eastern Jewish communities before everything changed in the 20th century. This Ethiopian Jewish man is carrying his mother on his back into Israel during Operation Solomon in 1991. They were rescued in a massive airlift, over 14,000 people in just 36 hours. This is Otto Frank in 1960, standing in the attic where his family hid from the Nazis. He's the only one who survived. His daughter Anne died in a concentration camp. But her diary would change the world. Just some couples hanging out in 1959, right? Look at how they're dressed, how they're sitting. This is a completely different world that existed just 60-something years ago. Look closely. These are two boys, barefoot, standing on moving machinery in a Georgia cotton mill in 1910. Their children working 12-hour shifts. Photos like this are why we have child labor laws today. 4 years. That's all that separates these two photos of Abraham Lincoln, 1861 and 1865. You can see the Civil War written on his face. He aged decades in 4 years. Surf Nazis in California, 1961. Before you freak out, these were just territorial surfers who wanted to keep their beaches to themselves. Terrible name choice, but that's what they called themselves. Look at this window in Germany, 1931. A Jewish family put up their Hanukkah menorah right across from a building flying a Nazi flag. This was 2 years before Hitler took full power. Defiance in the face of rising evil. This is the last photo ever taken of Freddie Mercury in 1991. He's 45 years old, dying of AIDS, and one of the greatest performers in rock history. He'd be gone within weeks. Albert Einstein's letter about Palestine from April 1948, right before Israel was founded. Einstein supported a Jewish homeland, but warned against nationalism. His fears turned out to be pretty accurate. Her name was Fanny Virginia Cassiopeia Lawrence. She was 5 years old in 1863, and she was enslaved. Even though she had white ancestry, the one-drop rule meant she was still considered property. This is history being made. The Mexican-American War in 1847, the very first war ever photographed. Before this, we only had paintings and drawings. This changed everything. Diego Maradona, showing Fidel Castro his Fidel Castro tattoo. Two of the most controversial figures of the 20th century, and they're just vibing. You can't make this stuff up. Chicago, 1948. That sign says, "For children for sale." The mother is hiding her face because she knows how horrifying this is, but she's desperate. Her husband lost his job, they're being evicted, and they have no options left. 4 children, sitting there, being sold. You know the Tank Man photo from Tiananmen Square? This is that same moment from ground level, through the trees, June 5, 1989. One man stopping a column of tanks. We still don't know who he was or what happened to him. Nancy Reagan is sitting on Mr. T's lap at the White House in 1983. The 80s were absolutely wild. London, November 4th, 1940. This bride just left her bombed house to go get married. The Nazis destroyed her home, but they couldn't stop her wedding day. That's British resilience. Queen Marie of Romania in 1896. She was considered one of the most beautiful and intelligent women in Europe, and she basically saved her country during World War I through pure diplomatic skill. This is an X-ray of Adolf Hitler's skull from September 1944. Germany is collapsing. He's falling apart physically and mentally. 8 months later, he'd be dead in a bunker. Israeli soldiers talking about the Tantura massacre in 1948. For decades, Israel denied this happened. But these testimonies prove that Palestinian villagers were killed during the war. History isn't clean. World War I, 1918. A soldier from the 369th Infantry Regiment, the Harlem Hellfighters, rescued this puppy on the front lines. African-American soldiers fighting for a country that treated them as second-class citizens. A woman checking out this crazy new invention in the 1950s, the seatbelt. People actually resisted these. They thought they were uncomfortable and unnecessary. Now they save thousands of lives every year. Iraq, October 31st, 2006. A Marine is dragging his wounded friend to safety after a sniper attack. This is the reality of war that doesn't make it into recruitment videos. This man is 108 years old in 1870. His name is John Kitts, and he's the last surviving soldier from the American Revolutionary War. Think about that. He fought alongside people who knew George Washington. This is Xi Jinping in San Francisco, 1985, just some young Chinese official visiting America. Nobody could have predicted he'd become the most powerful leader China has had since Mao. Jimmy Carter in his Navy uniform with his wife, Rosalind. They were married for 77 years, one of the longest marriages in presidential history. He just passed away in 2024. The world's oldest photograph, taken in the 1820s. It took 8 hours to expose this single image. This grainy, barely visible picture is where all of photography started. Jackie Kennedy, who watched her husband get assassinated in 1963, offering condolences to Coretta Scott King at MLK's funeral in 1968. Two women who understood grief that most people can't imagine. A cop playing Duck Duck Goose with kids in New York, 1970. Can you imagine this happening today? This is what community policing used to look like. Princess Misha al-Bint Fahd al-Saud was 19 years old when she was publicly executed in a parking lot in Saudi Arabia on July 15, 1977. Her crime? Falling in love with someone she wasn't married to. This actually happened. This is Albert Einstein at age 5 in 1884. Just a regular kid. Nothing about him suggests he'll revolutionize physics and change how we understand reality itself. Freddie Mercury and David Bowie backstage at Live Aid, 1985. Two legends, one moment. This concert raised over $100 million for famine relief and became one of the most watched broadcasts in history. A mother kisses her son goodbye as he leaves to become a Soviet partisan fighter during World War II. She knows she'll probably never see him again. This scene repeated millions of times across Eastern Europe. If you enjoyed exploring these incredible snapshots of history, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next adventure.